This is Amud Yomi Gemara and Berachos Daf Chof Tes Amud Bees, and we pick it up in the bottom of Chof Tes Amud Aleph, and we'll begin by a few lines from the bottom. Gufa. Amar Rav Tanchim, Amar Rav Asi, Tov lo yizkir gruas kisham v'tchias ameisim. So made a mistake and did not say Mashav Ruach Ein Machzir Naisai. Then we do go back. Sheila Berachos Shanim, but if you forgot V'Sin Talum Atar. Ein machzir noisei. Why? Similarly, if one forgot Avdallah and Chayne Adas, ein machzir noisei. Why? Asks on Rav Asi Meisvei, Tavleis Gigush Kamitches Ameisim. If one forgot and did not say Mashvaruach, machzir noisei, that part's okay. But then the Brisa continues that Sheila Berachos Shanim, machzir noisei. You have to, go back. So what's going on over here? This Brisa says if you forgot Sheila, if you forgot the Saint Talamatar, you do go back. And you don't necessarily say it in Shema Kirleinu. Says the Gemara, Lo Kasha, Habi Yachid, Habi Tzibur. B'tzibur, you're not going to go back. Says the Gemara, B'tzibur my time alay in the very bottom of Chotesim and Aleph. Why not B'tzibur do you go back? Because you didn't hear from the Sheikh Sibur. But if that is true, why did the Brisa say that the reason is because you can say B'Shemei Tefillah the Brisa should have said that the reason is because you're going to hear from the Sheikh Sibur. Says the Gemara, you're right. Elav Aidi Vaidi B'Yach. Rather, both Brises must be referring to that it was biyach. So how do we answer up the kasha? One is where you remember before Shemei Tefillah, then you say it in Shemei Tefillah. Then you have to go back to the beginning of Shemaina Esrei. Continues the Gemara on the top line of Chatash Amud Beis. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Tanchana Amar Rav Asi Amar Rav Yeshua ben Levi. Tov lo yiskir shel rosh chodesh ba'avayda. Once we're on the topic of one who makes a mistake, says the Gemara, what happens and you forgot Yalvi Yavai? Chayzer la'avayda, you go back to Ritzei. Nisker b'hayda. What happens if you remembered while he was saying Maidim? Chayzer la'avayda, he goes back to Ritzei. B'sim shalom, if you already finished the bracha of Atayv, and therefore you have to sim shalom already, chayz la'avayda. V'im siyem, but if you were finished the entire Shana Esrei, then chayzer l'roish. Then you got to go back to the beginning of Shana Esrei. So the Gemara explains this day in Amar Papa, Parei Ravacha Barat, Ha Damar and Siyin chayz l'roish. That which we say, seeing that if you finished chayz l'roish, you got to go back to the beginning of Shana Esrei. That's only referring to if he already was Oiker Raglov, he already began taking the 3 steps back at the end of Shwana Esrei. Have a Loy Oiker Raglov, Chayzer Li Avaida, then you always have the option of going back to the Avaida. So if you did not proactively finish Shwana Esrei, then you could still go back to Ritzei. Amar Lei. So Rav Tancha said to Rav Papa, where do you know this? Amar Lei, Rav Papa responded, Me Abba Amari Shmili. I heard it from my father, Abba Mari Meirav, and he heard it from Rav. That which you said, further qualifying. So again, first we said seeing. We said, what does that mean? That means you're Oiker Raglov. You're taking your 3 steps back. Now the Gemara further qualifies. That which we said, taking your 3 steps fast. It's only if you don't say extra tachanunim and extra supplications. You go back to Avodah. And what this means at the end of Shwana Esrei, by that last Ilir Atzayin, it doesn't mean you actually, it could be that they different minhagim to take the 3 steps back or not, but practically for a moment, what this means is that if you said the Ilir Atzayin, but you're going to say more tachanunim in Al-Kain Etzar, etc., then you still have the option of going back to Ritzei. But if your mamish finished, then you do not. Another lashon then automatically already chayzer leroish. You got to go back to the beginning of Shemona Esrei. And this really is where it comes from, that the Ragul Omer Tachanun, like we just said, this is where it's going to come from. It's all about that last Yiyu L'Ratzayin. And we quote the Mishnah said over the Ezer Omer, Hoyse Tfilasai Keva. So makes his Tfila Keva. Then ain't Tfilasai Tachanunim. Says the Gemara, my Keva. What does it mean your Tfila is Keva? Amar Avaka Baridi Amar Avishia Kosha Tfilasai. Daima love kemasai. It's like a burden. It's keva. It's heavy. Then it's not a chanunim. Rabbanan amri. Second shot. Kol mi sheina oimer belasha in tachanunim. If you don't say it in the lasha tachanunim, if you don't daven like you're pleading, like you're begging for mercy. A third shot. Rav Yosi Damri Tarvayo Kol sheina riyachol lechadish by davar. If you're not able to say something new, a new kavana, a new achanunim, a new something, then your tefillah is like a keva. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Zeira, chadushi ba milsa. I'm able to say a chiddush, but I don't do it because I'm afraid I'm going to get confused. So the Gemara is pointing out, not necessarily as being mechadesh, something always the right avenue, as we find that Rav Zeira was nervous to do such, as he didn't want to mess up his Shemona Esrei. A fourth pshat, what does it mean tefillah like keva? Amar Abaye bar Avin Rav China bar Avin Damri Tavayu Kol she'einu mispael im dimdumei chama. Anyone who doesn't daven during the time that the sun is red, what does that mean? The best time to daven is when the sun is red. Where do we see this in the pasuk? Fear you when the sun rises before the moon comes up for generations upon generations. And of course, this is most simply referred to early in the morning at that first moment by Hanitz Achama, as we've seen many times. The Gemara referred to that the Vasikin, that the pious ones daven at that time. Says the Gemara, they cursed, they condemned those who davened at this time of Dimdumei Chama. My time, this is referring to at the end of the day with regard to Mincha, because Dilma Mitrafa Le Shaita. Maybe you're going to get tired of das, maybe you're going to have something to do and you're going to miss it. If you wait for a mincha to last available moment, we're afraid you're not going to have the opportunity to daven and you might end up missing davening. Rav Yeshua says, Rav Yeshua, going back to quoting the Mishnah again, whenever you're going from a makom sakana, you should daven a short tefillah. Says the Gemara, B'chol Parsha Se'ibur. At every Parsha Se'ibur that you should daven this short tefillah. My Parsha Se'ibur, what does that mean? Says the Gemara. Amar Rav Chisda, Amar Ukva, Afil b'shoshat mismali aleim av ivra. Even at a time that you're filled with anger, like a pregnant woman, you call her chechem lefineim, all their needs should be before you. Even when they're ivrim al divrei Torah, they're transgressing. You call her chechem lefinecha, still all their needs should be before you. Says the Gemara, and with this we conclude, Tanu Rabbanan. What are these tefillas ketzarais that one should daven when traveling through a dangerous area? Says the Gemara, excuse me, now what are the tefillas? What is some of the examples of sakana? Someone is traveling in a place with bandits, with robbers. Mispal tefillah ksara, vezi tefillah ksara. And what is that? To your will, we daven to Hashem in the heavens above. And give us peace to those who fear you below. Say, do what's good in your eyes. Baruch atah Hashem, Shemei Tefillah. Rav Yeshua Amer. Rav Yeshua says, no, different text. Shema Shavas Amcha Yisrael. Hear the Shava, hear the cry, the groan of Klal Yisrael. Vasei Mehiru V'Vakashasam, and fulfill their words, their needs quickly. Baruch atah Hashem, Shemei Tefillah. A third version of Lazar Rav Sadik Omer, Shema Sakas Amcha Yisrael. Hear the cry of Klal Yisrael, Vasei Mehiru Bakashasam, and speedily listen to them. Baruch Hashem Shemei Tefillah. Finally, a fourth version, Acher Maimrim, Sarchayam Chayisam Merubim, the needs of Klal Yisrael. Our Merubim are many, V'taita Kutsara, but their mind is small. Yilu Ratzah, Shitein Cholechad, Parnasasa, please give everyone according to their Parnasa. Chol Gvia, and each and everybody, Dei Machser, that which it lacks. Baruch Hashem Shemei Tefillah. And Amar Avhuna, Helchasa Halachas like whom? Ka'acherim like the acherim. We'll pick it up from here in the next year. B'siyata b'shmaya.